Okay, got it. Okay, welcome everyone. We're glad you're here this afternoon, late afternoon. We're here to talk to a speaker from CVS Health. But before we get started, we are going to put up a thank you. There we go. Put up a poll. So if you will please answer the questions. There are actually two questions, so if you could answer them both. We're gathering information about what you know about the CVS Health Internship Program and the CVS Store Manager in Training Program. Okay, should we end the poll? And there are the results. So you can see there's a lot of people that know nothing about these programs, James. And next, I am going to introduce our speaker. If Anna, you could take a screenshot of those, please. All right. So we're going to move forward with James Mitchell, who James grew up in and currently resides in Santa Clarita. He got his associate degree at the College of the Canyons and his bachelor's degree at CSUN. James worked with various retail and service industry jobs during and out of high school and during his time at CSUN, which is how he ultimately ended up working as a supervisor at a CVS store in the Valley. While working at the store, James was able to learn about their business, company culture, as well as how to build and lead a team. He was also able to acquire a California pharmacy tech license through CVS's Board of Pharmacy Accredited Technician Training Program. After working in the store, James transitioned to the training team at CVS, teaching those same pharmacy classes as well as management training classes. He worked in training for about 4 years, initially teaching in-person classes, then via virtual sessions, before moving into his current role with talent acquisition. I'd like you to welcome James Mitchell.
Thank you so much, Jan. I'm very excited to be here. This is really great. Thank you so much for putting this on. So yeah, I'm James, and I wanted to just kind of speak a bit about CVS, talk about us as an organization, kind of our culture and our direction as a company, and talk about some of the opportunities that we have in the stores. So to start with, I have a QR code here that if you take a second and you get your phone out and you take a snapshot of this, it'll actually bring you to our talent profile. This will let you put your information in, and this is actually going to link to me directly. So if anyone is interested in me following up with them later on, this would be a great way to do that because I'll know that you attended here and I'll know that you're interested in connecting with me. I also have my email here, so you could reach out to me directly that way as well. And you'll see this QR code on a couple slides after this. So if you don't catch it right away, it'll still pop up there a little later on. So to start with, I want to talk about just CVS like as an organization. So CVS Health is a Fortune 4 company whose mission is to bring our heart to every moment of your health. So because of this, we commit ourselves to actions that keep our heart at the center of our work. We do this by putting people first and staying customer obsessed, rising to the challenge of being willing to innovate when needed, joining forces for the greater good of the customer, creating simplicity for our customers and employees, and inspiring trust by acting with integrity. These hard work behaviors are seen every day throughout our company culture and are kept in the forefront of our minds when developing our colleagues into strong future leaders. So when thinking of where you want to start your career, I encourage you to consider if the mission or purpose of that company aligns with your own values. One of our hard work behaviors is putting people first, and it's reflected in the value that we hold for diversity, inclusion, and belonging. By ensuring our colleague demographics reflect the communities we serve, we're able to instill that sense of belonging, not only for our colleagues, but also for our customers. We take pride in ensuring a feeling of inclusion and belonging for all 300,000 plus colleagues by creating a workplace defined by personal connections and making sure that everyone has a seat at the table. Showing genuine care for one another is a culture that we encourage for everyone at CVS to embrace. In fact, to strengthen these efforts, over the next 5 years, we're investing $600 million to advance employee, community, and public policy initiatives that address inequalities faced by historic disenfranchised communities. We're doing these through mentorship, through training, and collaborating with civil rights and social justice organizations. Colleague resource groups are an opportunity for all CVS employees to get involved and gain exposure with people from different backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences. Last year, we had 22,000 individual colleagues involved across 15 colleague resource groups. Those who are part of the colleague resource groups don't have to identify with various groups in order to take part. Allies and those wanting to gain more exposure are encouraged to be involved as well. Corporate responsibility is another large initiative to ensure a positive impact from CVS Health. We aim for this impact to happen within our people, our business, our communities, and our planet. For healthy people, at a time when our purpose has never been more critical, we're making healthcare more accessible and more affordable for our customers. As part of this effort, in 2020, we administered 10 million plus COVID tests, including 165,000 at community sites. Over the next 10 years, we'll provide $65 billion in healthcare interactions to individuals. For healthy business, we actually look to sell products made by diverse suppliers, like women or veteran-owned, that our shelf space, and making sure our shelf space resembles our customers and the communities that we serve. CVS launches one example of a formalized program we offer for emerging brands to grow their reach with us. These initiatives provide value for all those involved in our business. Healthy community is beyond healthcare. We also provide critical services, including housing, transportation, food security, and education. Many of our colleagues support these efforts by donating more than $6.6 million in value of volunteerism, including virtual opportunities at food banks, at local churches, and other nonprofits. So if volunteering is something that interests you, you'll find a space for you to do that at CVS Health. And if a healthy planet, we measure our impact as a company and hold ourselves accountable for our responsibility in maintaining a healthy planet. One way we have contributed to this is via our Beyond the Bag initiative to advance a more sustainable and waste-free future for the retail bag. Additionally, we also supported responsible consumption by helping promptly dispose of 2 million pounds of unwanted medication, driven unnecessary waste for the environment. And then today I'm talking about retail management. So it's appropriate that I spend some time on how we've improved health across that part of our business. Possibly the biggest contribution that we are most known for is when we decided to remove tobacco products from our shelves in 2014, despite the financial losses. Being that we are a healthcare company, selling tobacco didn't align with our mission. And more than 200 colleges and universities have gone smoking tobacco free since this initiative. With keeping our customers' health top priority, we also provide healthier food options in our stores with more organic products. Outside the traditional soda and candy at the register, you'll find more vegan, gluten-free, and dairy-free options. In regard to beauty, CVS Beauty Mark was created and rolled out in our stores in 2018. And it's our pledge to help pass a healthy self-image on to the next generation. So as you can see here, there's a watermark designed to highlight imagery that has not been materially altered. We also devote ourselves to improving health on the beauty side by only selling products with SPF 15 or more, providing more natural and organic items, and limiting chemicals of concern from over 600 of our store brand beauty and personal care products.
Before you move forward, James, I'd just like to tell the students, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, because that's how we're going to address those questions with James. So we hope to see the chat fill up in just a few minutes.
Thanks very much, James. All right, so our health hub locations are something you might see in various locations throughout the country. I know our store over in Tampa and Victory, I believe, has a health hub built into it, as well as one of the stores in Sherman Oaks, as well as a store in Gore Hill. So these locations are a little bit different than our traditional stores. They offer a large variety of healthcare services, including treatment for common illnesses, as well as chronic diseases like diabetes or sleep disorders or high blood pressure, depression, that type of thing. We staff them with specialized care concierge role, and we can put even more of a focus on the overall health care of our customers. So this is exciting not only for our customers, but it's a great opportunity for anyone who has an interest in healthcare to potentially manage one of these locations. Managing our stores, especially health applications, can be the start to an exciting career path with CVS Health. This image is an example of one of the types of environments you can be working in and lead a team in. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what those opportunities can look like now. Before I do that, I have a video that I'm going to show briefly that just kind of talks about retail life at CVS.
There's a lot that goes into it.
There's never a dull moment.
You're always kind of tackling something new.
I was doing real work. It takes a lot of leadership and people skills.
You're talking with your manager every single day.
They really want you to learn. They saw my leadership potential. I love helping someone.
We all have this connection, like they were so willing to help me. This is my work family.
I definitely felt like I was a part of the management team.
They really made us feel important.
I get to help people with their health every day.
You definitely feel like you're making a difference.
CVS really loves their employees. They're open-minded to accommodate different types of cultures.
They're not just a healthcare company, but they're really innovative.
This program brings you out to the front. It was really eye-opening.
All right, so we've talked a little about what our retail management intern entails, so I'm going to go over it into some more detail now. So it's a 9-week paid summer program that runs from the first week of June to the first week of August. We offer an opportunity across a variety of markets. The program allows you to gain hands-on experience and develop your managerial skills. You'll see firsthand what it takes to be a store manager and successfully run the retail business of a Fortune 4 company at CVS. You'll develop skills in customer service, problem solving, time and inventory management, strategic thinking, financial planning, and more, while gaining the knowledge to lead your store team and help them achieve goals. The highlights of the summer include participating in travel days with the district leader, various networking opportunities that expose you to higher level roles within the company, and help you in planning your future career with us, and developing and presenting a capstone project that will exemplify how to solve a real world opportunity that our businesses face. At the completion of the program, many students will be an offer for our full-time post-grad emerging store leader or store manager in training program. So our retail management interns and graduating seniors have the opportunity to become an emerging store leader or store manager in training. This is a self-paced structured program that dives even deeper into understanding of key skills that will ensure your success in running your future store. It includes learning topics such as inventory and merchandising, financial management, employee staffing, and training and development, and delivering results. And then once the emerging store leader or SMIT program is completed, you have the opportunity to step directly into a store manager position. Our store manager position is the gateway to future leadership roles in our company. Understanding the front door of our business and managing a store location and team allows you to gain a variety of experiences. Because of this, it makes for a smoother transition into roles within district leadership, talent acquisition and development, human resources, asset protection, field training, and other various corporate positions. And like I mentioned, I did this myself. So I started with the store, moved into the training team, and now I'm here in talent acquisition. And it really is a great way to learn our business, learn our culture, and develop a career with a very successful growing organization. So for next step, I have 2 other QR codes here. If you have any interest in applying for the retail manager internship or for the store manager in training, you could, again, take your phone, take the camera app out, and these will take you directly to those roles where you could navigate to any of our markets. And from there, you'll be able to apply directly into that position. So I'll leave that just for a second. And then, Jen, if it's okay with you, we can transition into questions.
Sure. Okay, Leslie, do you want to address the questions in the chat?
Sure. We have one question that's asking about international students. They're asking if the training and internships at CVS is relevant for international students who is not permanent citizens here in the USA and also in public health major.
So public health major, yes. As of right now, CVS doesn't sponsor. So you would have to be authorized to work in the US to do the internship.
For international students, is there other opportunities later on in the future?
It would really depend on the actual department. I can't speak for us as an organization. We do internships with corporate. We do internships with our pharmacy side, and so the best I'd be able to do is I could recommend a way to whoever the person, they want to get a hold of me directly. I could cascade information to look at like our general internship landing page, and they could explore opportunities there and see if any of the other teams within the organization are able to to sponsor for employment.
Okay. Could they write to you? Could they email you? And
yeah, email would be completely fine, and I'd be happy to respond to that.
Okay, James, why don't you put your email in the chat? So
Absolutely.
Okay,
Another question.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Leslie.
Pardon. Is this internship only for summer?
Yeah, so we currently only do it from the first week of June to the first week of August. And that's mostly because it's a very structured program and how we set it up. And I actually, I run the whole internship. And so we have a very direct cadence of how it's cascaded week after week. And so, we're doing it across, I'm doing it across the entire state of California. So we structure it that way over that 9-week period in the summer.
Okay. Are there more questions? Because I have more questions. I have questions.
Yeah, there's one more. Is
Okay,
there
go
a
ahead.
time frame for where we can apply for the internship?
I will be taking applicants up until I don't have any spaces left, and that will vary by market. So it could be now, it could be this winter, it could be up until May of next year.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Do we have more questions in there in the chat?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so that was one of my questions was about the time frame. When do they apply? I do see. Let's see, James. What's this? What does the pharmaceutical internship entail?
Could that person be more specific? Because we have pharmacy, pharmacist internships that we do as an organization, but that would be if you're going to school to become a pharmacist. Were they talking about just when I mentioned that I got my tech license through CVS?
So if you could go ahead and put that in the chat to kind of clarify, that would be great, whoever asked that question. In the meantime, I have a question about the Health Hub. When did you launch the Health Hub, and what made CVS as a company decide to move forward in that direction?
Yeah, so it's really been an ongoing process that started about 10 years ago. We changed the name of the company from CVS Caremark to CVS Health. And kind of from that point forward, every decision we've made as an organization is based around health. So I mentioned earlier, we dropped tobacco products. I actually worked in the stores when we did that. I remember packing up, the whole cash wrap behind the registers was all tobacco products. I remember packing all that up and shipping it away. You know, prior to that, we'd acquired Minute Clinic, which was a like network of basically clinics inside the stores. And over the past, you know, decade, we've been rolling those out to our locations, and there's thousands of those across the country. The Health Hub is really an evolution of it, and that's a very new thing that we started doing in the last, I'd say, a couple of years. So the ones that are local to us, like in Santa Cruz and the Valley, they've only been up there for about the last year. And what those look like is, so you have the existing nurse practitioner, but they'll have multiple nurse practitioners. And they will do everything from like a wellness visit. If you need a checkup, they'll do extended immunization. So if someone's looking for a shingles vaccine, they'll do that there. If you just woke up one day with an ear infection and you didn't know what to do, you could just go into that clinic and see that nurse practitioner. You don't need to have an appointment. And if they write you a prescription, you're right there at the pharmacy. And then they do additional things. We have big rooms that are built out there that eventually will turn into things like classes for nutrition, right? Or a Weight Watchers meeting or yoga classes. They sell durable medical equipment like CPAP machines, right? So if someone has sleep apnea, they can go there, be fitted for and taught how to use the CPAP machine, and the you know, we'll take care of all that there. And what that is CVS is really working to disrupt healthcare. Healthcare in the US in general is hard for people to navigate. It's expensive, it's confusing. A lot of people don't know how to take care of themselves. And when it's happening, people just don't really see a doctor until something becomes a problem, and then it's costly and it's hospital stay and you're going to an ER. So what we're trying to do is become a local place, because we have just in California alone 1,100 locations. And across the US, 75% of the US population is 5 miles from a CVS. So what we're trying to do is create a space where people can just go and affordably take care of themselves and stay on top of those things and stay healthy. In 2018, we acquired Aetna. So Aetna is, you know, the third largest private health insurance company. And our current CEO, Karen Lynch, who was actually Forbes magazine's the most powerful woman in business this year, was the CEO of Aetna. So that goes to show just what a big presence we are in terms of healthcare.
You know, I think it's amazing. I think what you were saying is healthcare is hard to access for many, many people. And to have it, you also demystify it a little bit. It's in a storefront. People are more comfortable walking in there than they might be trying to find a doctor or even gain access to any kind of support, and having the nurse practitioners there. I think it's a great idea. And like you said, it's a part of an evolution of the company. Leslie, do we have more questions? Because I have more.
Yeah, can a senior apply for this summer internship?
Yeah, it would depend on graduation, but yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to know, let's see, I go into the store manager position, or not the position, but go into the training program. Once, if I'm hired as a store manager, after that, how long would it take me to get to a corporate job?
That's going to really depend on the person, their background. And it's also hard to answer because things have been changing so rapidly for us as an organization. We're growing so fast. You know, traditionally, our corporate campus is back east. And so, you know, a lot of those roles were back east. But more and more in the last, you know, really year, so many things are work from home flexible that there's so many opportunities that are available to anybody across the country. And because we are expanding as fast as we are, things have really escalated for us in terms of how quickly we're innovating and evolving as an organization. And so that's causing just us to have rapid growth. And so there's more of those positions. So I would say quicker than one would expect, but I wouldn't want to give someone some kind of like, you know, time frame for when that would happen. Generally, the store manager in training role is traditionally a year to two before someone takes over their own store. They don't like it to be more than that because it's designed to be a role to develop someone to become a store leader. From there, I would really just say it's when someone's ready, and that's going to have to do with how fast they master the role that they're in as a manager. How quickly they can identify what their kind of passions are, and network and track those things down. What I will say that we're very good at as an organization is trying to identify talent internally, making it really easy once you're part of the organization to apply for other roles. So once someone is kind of built into that talent network there, there's we have hundreds of thousands of positions just for being a Fortune 4 company.
Okay, thank you. Leslie?
Yeah, another, like the previous question, can seniors graduating in spring also apply?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, and another question would be, are there any internships offered for mechanical engineering majors?
Yeah, so we have, let me actually see if I can get it. I'll stop sharing, and I'm gonna look for a link that I have for our corporate internships, just so I can drop it in the chat there. So if anybody wants to check out, we have a lot of corporate internships, and we have a whole team that does those as well. So I'd love to give anyone who's interested in that that page there to jump into. And also, I mentioned before the talent profile that we do. So if you go into that initial QR code that I had up there, that lets you kind of get access to CVS's like backend system for recruiters. So people like me, the recruiters, when we're looking to fill positions, we reach out to people that we have built into that network there. So it's a great way to almost like apply for a job that doesn't exist yet. If you go in and you put your interest in your experience and your background and that kind of thing, as recruiters are trying to fill those roles, including internships, they can reach out to you directly based on the information that you put there.
Leslie, you want to ask the next one?
There was a previous question asking if the corporate roles will have to relocate to the east.
So not always. It's going to depend on the type of role. If you think about something like IT, for example, right? Like if I'm going to have my computer, for example, worked on, obviously that's someone boots on the ground. Like that will likely, require that they're at one of our campuses. But we have our major campus is Woonsocket, Rhode Island, but we have campuses in Texas, in Phoenix, in New Jersey, in Pennsylvania, and more so though, the jobs that don't require boots in the ground are flexible work from home. Like I'm currently work from home.
Another question is asking if biotechnology major and radiological science major can apply.
Yeah.
That was an easy one.
Yeah, no, that absolutely. I should mention my background. So I did go to CSUN, right? And I had I'd worked to put myself through school, and I was a poli-sci major for no real reason other than I enjoyed the subject, and I didn't really necessarily know what I was going to do after I graduated. The reason I ended up at CVS was I'd worked for a few different companies that went out of business while I was working there, and I wanted a place where I felt like I would have job stability and job opportunities. And thankfully, that's been CVS for me. When I joined CVS, I think we were Fortune 12, and we're Fortune 4 now, right? So we just keep growing, and I've been able to, in a short span, really kind of grow within the organization. But obviously, what I do now, poli-sci doesn't really apply at all, other than just communication and general thinking. So I would never discriminate anybody based on something like a major. Like absolutely apply, and I'd love to speak with you.
You definitely want to share your skills on your resume. So keep that in mind. It's not just about the major, it's about skill sets that you have and you've developed.
Yeah, I always joke, if you have an underwater basket weaving major, I'll probably still, talk with you.
Okay. James, one of the things that we talked about before was salary. Can you share a little information for students?
So the internship is paid. I can say that, and I can say that it's very competitive.
Okay. Starting salary for a store manager is significant, I think.
It is. Yeah, it's going to vary by market, and the store. I should mention the store manager in training, also very competitive. It will vary a lot by market, right? Like higher volume and that type of thing, and obviously, cost of living. But yeah, it's a very good salary.
Do we have any more questions coming in?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Students, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. I do have another question. You said something about the investment in sort of social justice.
Mhm.
Can you repeat those numbers again? Because I think you said something and I'm like, really? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, let me find the actual numbers. But so basically, we have like I said, 1,100 stores across California and close to I think 10,000 across the country. But even though we have so many stores, it's really important to us that they feel like neighborhood stores. One of the stores that I worked at was a smaller store in like the North Valley area, and the majority of our customers would walk to the store just to sort of pick up their local groceries, or they were coming for our pharmacy. And what's neat about that compared to traditional retail is you get relationships with people, right? Like if you work other places and certain jobs, you may not have the opportunity to connect with people over and over again, but you absolutely do in our business, and they become friends, if not family, right? So because of that, it's really important for us that the people that we're putting in stores really represent that neighborhood, right? That community. That's a big part of what we're doing. And so we are putting $600 million to advance employee, community, and public policy initiatives. Is that the number that you were asking about?
Yes, I was just, I thought, did I hear 600 million?
Yeah.
That's significant. That's significant as a company.
Yeah.
But it means something to the company, obviously.
It does. It really does. We're really big on DNI. We're also really big on being environmentally sustainable. I had the opportunity to meet with someone recently who is involved in all the back end stuff in terms of like how to make sure that we're being an environmentally sound company, and seeing all the different things that they're doing at that end to make sure like our products are recyclable, and the different ways they're experimenting with like pill bottles, for example, to make them recyclable. And are our receipts too long? If so, what can we do to like help? And those type of things. And it's really fun to be part of an organization that takes those things seriously. And I will say too that although healthcare wasn't something that I initially would have maybe thought about going into, it's very rewarding to work for a company whose common goals are all based around health and well-being for people. Especially right now, I get to sort of look back and know that I had an impact on something that was really important.
Yes, I mean, with just as we begin to emerge from the pandemic, you had mentioned that there were thousands of COVID tests that you have processed, and I think it's amazing. I know I saw when I went to CVS, I saw that in action. So I was very happy to see that.
Yeah, what was interesting with us with that was that there was no roadmap for that. We didn't have a plan pre-built for how we were going to do that. And actually, the same with the vaccines, right? Administering those vaccines, those clinics,
right?
They weren't existing clinics. We didn't have existing staff for that. We had to sort of build the airplane as we were flying it, is how you would describe it. And so, and that's with regulation and information sometimes changing weekly, if not daily. But it was a monumental task to overtake, but obviously, very important one.
Right. I don't see any more questions in the chat. So if there's anything else you'd like to share with us, James, before we wrap up.
I would just say again, I would love to speak with anybody who has any kind of questions to follow up with. Just put your information in there in that initial link, and I'm happy to follow up with any kind of sort of one-on-ones. I would just say again that like I'm very grateful that I managed to stumble into this organization. When I was looking for kind of where I was going to get my roots planted, it was frustrating seeing companies struggle. And right now I'm kind of seeing that too. Like I said, I live in Santa Cruz, and there's a big wing of our mall that's closed now where like, Sears used to be, and I see a lot of empty shops, and that's really hard, right? Because that's people's livelihoods. And so it's nice to know that, that's not something that I have to deal with, because it was pretty traumatizing for me closing up, multiple businesses, while also trying to kind of get my feet off the ground.
Yeah. Leslie, you want to move forward with the chat?
Yeah. What is the best way to contact you?
So there's a couple different ways. I put my email in here, but I can do it again. I'm also happy to put my Handshake in here if anybody, my LinkedIn in here, if anybody wants to reach out to me that way. And I can probably bring back up the QR code if people want to go ahead and snap into there, so then I'll know that they attended this event.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. If you could go ahead and put the QR code up again, I think that you can make it, that's the most straightforward and simplest way, I think, to get connected. And like he said, this will let him know that you've attended this event.
Let me bring that back up real quick.
While you're doing that, we're going to, if Anna, you will launch the poll. So, you can move the poll out of the way to get to the QR code. So you can see from the poll, our students have definitely learned much more, where they started with almost no knowledge.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that no one put no knowledge. That would disappoint me.
Okay, so if a few more people just go ahead and fill out the two. Oh, we ended the poll and she's sharing the results. Thank you, Anna, for sharing the results, and make sure you take a screenshot of the results, both the first and second question. And then I'd like to thank James for coming here today and sharing his program. I think it's an outstanding program for you to participate in, and he's given you a lot of access how to connect with him. So James, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Jen. This was great. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome. And I'd like to remind the students that there are 4 more sessions tomorrow. Ask Us Anything About Internships is in the morning. At 12:30 p.m. we have, oh, I'm blanking. Oh, my students, you tell me what it is. At 2 p.m. we have internship roadmap. So please sign up for that. And at 4 p.m. we have AIG. Oh, let me see. Parker Dewey. It's the micro internship program. So that will be happening tomorrow, and we hope that you will participate. And then remember, this all leads up to the job fair next Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, the sessions will go from 11 to 1, and on Wednesday, the sessions are from 3 to 6 p.m. So we hope that you come to the job fair. James, will you be participating in the job fair?
I will. I'll be there both days.
Both days. So this is a great way for you to connect with him. James will have individual sessions and group sessions. Is that correct? Or just
Individual.
group? Oh, individual sessions only. So you will have a chance to spend 10 minutes one-on-one with James. You can see this as kind of asking questions, but also a pre-interview possibility there. So I hope that you will sign up to see him next week. And then thank you for coming today, and we hope to see you tomorrow.
There is a question about how to sign up for booths in Handshake. I don't know if you cover that normally with your students, but you should be able to, from Handshake, find CVS and then just sign up for any of my open sessions. They're already there listed as open.
Right. You just sign up, go in under job fairs. It's under fairs. Select the CSUN Career Center fairs. And then once you go into that, it's very simple process to go ahead and sign up. You definitely have to do this in advance. And that's what makes it different. When we do a virtual fair, it makes it a little bit different because you need to do this in advance so you can gain access to one of those time slots. Okay, if you have any more questions about the job fair, you can always email us at career.internships@csun.edu. We'd be happy to point you in the right direction and get you the information that you need. Again, thanks, James, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.